Hello everyone, I'm Gerald. Today I'm going to talk about nutrition for your cellular health. Our whole body is built up of cells. It is important that we keep our cells healthy. Continue with whatever you have in your medical advice from the doctors and what you are being given from them. To begin with, our body are made up of 37 trillion cells. Our cells in our body always has a cycle of life to regenerate and adds to the overall functioning. So when it behaves abnormally or giving problems, its function and lifespan soon becomes an end for another cell to take over. And this is a cell cycle. And the cell cycles have different types all over the body, and through renewals in our body, you can see the whole list of different parts of the cells of the body that renews at different pace of the month, of the year, and even in the lifetime. And through daily life replacement processes, which are all rounded in one single digit. Note that hair elongates over here takes about 1 cm per month. But do you know what? Our fingernails grow about 0.3 cm per month. What it means? How is 0.3 cm like? It's about the same speed as the continental spreading of the tectonic plates that increases the distance between North America and Europe. That is the speed of how our fingernails would have been growing, and the cells regenerate at that speed. So where more cells are degenerated with less new cells regenerating, the different organ functional use like the nervous system and the immune system will not be working at its original condition or at its normal capacity. That means to say our cells get sick due to toxicity and deficiency, mainly these two. But where are the toxicity and deficiency comes from? Firstly, the toxicity comes from today's environment, where it exerts a big toll on our body and stressing all our cells, from pollution of the air and water to long-term chemical drugs. And with Wi-Fi all around us 24/7, we are being irradiated all the time. We are also taking in food laden with different heavy chemicals or preservatives. The next thing is, are we having a balanced diet? Remember, we are what we eat. You are what you wear. We are what we speak. So, how balanced are we having in our plate of meal? In terms of quality of food intake, many more suffer from an imbalanced diet. Therefore, our cells suffer from important and essential nutrient deficiencies. And what it leads to more free radicals coming in, and the free radicals that will damage the mitochondrial, and also at the same time it will also affect the DNA, and the damage of the DNA. The mutation of cells depends on the DNA. So oxidative stress of all these free radicals leads to cell and tissue damage. So when you have DNA damage, what does it turn off? It turns off something, and it will turn on in our body something else. What is going to be turning off? The good genes that regulates metabolism, which is converting chemical food into energy. It also turns off our hormonal balance. That means you're going to get weight gain, you're going to be more fatigued, increased sensitivity to cold or heat, constipation or more frequent bowel movement, dry skin, puffy face, and unexplained weight loss. So all these together with increased or decreased heart rate, you're going to turn off with the bad DNA damage. And the bad genes will be turned on. The abnormal cell growth, the genetic diseases that will follow through, and also at the same time the cell death that will happen in a very unusual way. Also, all these will lead to premature aging. What then happens is the body that may go into some stage of sickness or disease. If this goes on for a long term, on a progressive path, a chronic condition may soon develop. And one can also generally say at some point that the body cells are not able to copy its DNA correctly to a new cell, or seem, in another angle, the body may have started its aging process. So in WHO, World Health Organization defines healthy aging as the process of developing and maintaining the functional ability that enables well-being in older age. And also it states healthy aging, like active aging, emphasizes the need for action across multiple sectors and enabling older people to remain a resource to their families, communities, and economies. What's all of that in simple statements, saying that in healthy aging, our body can still function to actively contribute to both family and to our society. There's a chart that says the growth of numbers of people with dementia in countries of high income, low income, and middle income from 2010 to 2050. And look at how it is. In the course of the years advancing, you're going to have more and more people suffering from chronic diseases, especially the middle to low income countries. The high income countries are not as prevalent. Why? Because they have different sets of guide nutrition. Another meta-analysis research results indicate disabilities as a major problem associated with seniors' activities of daily living dependence. They found categories of conditions like psychological problems that will develop. You have difficulties in mobility, poor cognitive function, you have falls and incidents increase, and you have wounds and more injuries developing. You have undernourishment and communication problems. All these 6 psychological problems, from difficulties and wounds to undernourishment to communication problems, all these encompasses if you do not have proper cellular health. There's another article in Singapore in the Straits Times. The proportion of older adults with multiple chronic diseases surged. What happened? The proportion of older adults with 3 or more chronic diseases doubled from 2009 to 2017. What this says is that there are a lot of people who are growing older who are suffering from more chronic diseases, and the next one, top 5 chronic health conditions were high blood pressure, high cholesterol, cataract, joint problem, pain, arthritis, rheumatoid, and also nerve pain and diabetes. All these poses risks when you're moving towards age if you are not keeping in proper good cellular health. Chronic diseases developing in so many forms, in so many countries, across so many population, all because there are insufficient nourishment in terms of cell health. A great number of chronic diseases actually can be preventable, provided we have the awareness and the know-how to steer clear of them. So while we live in a modern era of higher technologies, better convenience, greater comfort, there is a trade-off to more susceptible chronic diseases that threatens our health. So having good habits of preventive care health is of vital importance. All these chronic diseases are somewhat like an iceberg. It's just a tip of it. The underlying conditions could be even bigger due to its structural imbalances in the inflammatory imbalances. You have hormonal immune imbalance, you have detoxification problems, you have mitochondrial dysfunction, you have digestive malabsorption, microbial imbalances, and a lot of different undesirable emotions that develops. So how to tackle the underlying conditions? We face rising health challenges. These conditions are all causes of inflammation, which are called degenerative diseases. They are long continuation or progression of inflammation on the different parts of the body. So therefore, what is the long-term effects of inflammation? In terms of digestive, you have the bone coming into autoimmune system, you develop brain because of chronic inflammation, it will affect the kidney. It will also have implications into the joints. You'll result in certain obesity because of imbalance of hormonal. You have eye conditions developing. You have cardiovascular diseases that comes up, which is common, and respiratory. You have more neurological conditions and skin conditions, which last but not least, a lot of it could lead to the most dreaded of all, cancer. Let me talk a little bit about what inflammation is. It's a big topic, and I want to bring this up as we are already experiencing the wave of aging population across many countries, which comes with more chronic conditions and diseases. And now the chronic conditions are even seen in our younger population of middle age. What can we do to turn around these constant threats to our health? When we age, our cells have gone through a lot of attack from free radicals. And what we need to do, we need to have a first step to intercept and prevent this destruction of the cells. We need to come in to repair and maintain the cell condition and functioning and help rebuild and rejuvenate so that we are able to mitigate the aging process overall in our body cells. So what can we do? Cell therapy could be a good alternative. Well, there's a little video clip that I would like to show you what an antioxidant, a little bodyguard, can do that help us deal with our inflammation. I hope you enjoyed the little clip that I've shown just now. So stay tuned to my next emphasis on discovering what better way to reduce inflammation and to live a much more healthier life with the cells in our body. Thank you.